I never thought I would be doing a killer perspective for a Dead by Daylight mobile video. So Huntress is one of the ones I use the most out of any of the killers. Um, I'd say my biggest weakness with her is the hatchets, which allow you to hit opponents when you throw something at them. And one of the main reason for that really should be said that a lot of times when I click the button that launches them, I make the mistake of clicking it twice or clicking the wrong button, and it'll like retract it instead of throwing. And that's plagued me, and you're actually gonna see it during the video. So like right there, that wasn't on purpose. Now, you might notice there's a little bit of a thing here. I got in. For some reason, she just stands there. Some of these players are really weird. But you might notice that I actually kind of teleported there a little bit, moved around a little bit. And that's because one of the reasons I don't like playing this killer is it seems, and you see it again right there, where it moved by itself. And then right here, where I kept having to click that button to hook her. The internet against some of these people is atrocious. And if you're having a hard match and you have bad internet, or someone in the lobby has bad internets, it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, this game is just... Also, some people will accuse me of face camping, and my thing with that is, if I'm put in a situation where I have a person who is so altruistic that they can't just leave and, you know, let me go, and then they sneak over there and get them, I feel like there's no purpose to me going away, because you're right there. If I go and try to get the other two survivors, this Meg that's here is just gonna pick the other Meg up, and they're gonna leave, and you know, it's like, I see you about to do that. I'm not just gonna go and walk away. Now, if she was smart, she would have hit somewhere, and then I would have a you know, it would have been a lot easier for me to just kind of go whatever. This Dwight is gonna end up being the next target. As you can see, Meg got one hooked, and that actually is an issue of because I've explained before that even if you have a killer that's like camping or that's staying around, there's really not much they can do outside of having Noah, which doesn't show up until the end of the match, to really be able to stop the whole group of survivors. So if that Dwight had shown up earlier, and you know, maybe brought the other player too, there would have been no way for me to stop them from getting made. But because they didn't, they only have 3 people at 5 gens, and it's not looking too good. And like I said, I wouldn't have done that if the other Meg didn't just sit there and, you know, try to not even attempt to hide. Like, I hope you leave the area so I can continue to stand here and definitely not get my teammates. Ah, these players. Yeah, I'm replenishing my hatchets because they run out after 5. There are add-ons to make a little bit more. There's actually one add-on where you can make it to where you only have 1 hatchet, but it'll insta-down someone. So it'll be like hitting someone twice. I would never use that because I just miss too much with those to be confident enough to have one of them like that. I'd rather have 5 chances to hit someone twice than 1 chance to hit someone once, is the way I look at it. We're doing a generator over there. During that chase, I got confused. Like, they ran up that top part and then they ran behind. It was... And now they're all healed and it's lovely. Yeah, they have all these pallets. Some people actually will just go around and pre-drop pallets where you're not even chasing them to do that. So I go to this generator, see if I can stop them from finishing it. We got two members of the team. Now see, this is a mistake I made here. I should have thrown a hatchet right there because she was being body blocked by the Dwight. Let's see. Okay, I don't know what she was doing here. I missed with my hatchet and then she backed up. So I said, some survivors do weird stuff. Like, you know, if I'm running from a Huntress and she misses, I'm gonna keep running. I'm gonna back up. And then her like, hey, you weren't able to hit me with your hatchet, so M1 me. Yeah, this is actually a tactic that this player has where when they're trying to loop, they jump over, they'll have a pallet and they'll just keep jumping over it over and over again. See, I'm a little more open to kind of playing around with them a little bit because you've got 2 survivors, one's injured, or excuse me, you have 2 other survivors. I'm forgetting to make as the injured one. And you can infer they're either doing 2 generators, which is still only half of what they need to leave, or they're, and this is where she made a mistake, drop that pallet. And Huntress really is a strong contender for being the only killer in this game where you should almost never drop a pallet unless you know it's gonna stun her like the split second you drop it, because every time someone does that, it's almost like an invitation. Please hit me with the hatchet, because when you drop a pallet, you're forced to stay for maybe like 1 or 2 seconds in the same exact spot of the middle. So there are a lot of players that make that error, and I don't know what this person is doing. I have no idea what that was. She was hiding, and you would think, okay, well, she doesn't want to get, gone after. But then she doesn't even move when she's hit. Because I've had that happen before where I've been seen by the killer and they hit me while I'm hiding and then I run. So yeah, he's probably, you're probably going to see, yep. The other one got removed, got saved, rescued. Which, I do that too, where that's where the killer gets 2 people. You go to the one that they pick up one of them and you go and get the other one because you know that they're not there to, face camp or body block or anything like that. I'm kind of surprised I was able to throw that effectively, but one of the other things that makes Huntress pretty good is that there are a lot of survivors that don't even look around. Yeah. See, this would be a lot easier if we stay in this room and there wasn't that upper part to go on to. But I don't really want to be, focused on that one guy, so I end up doing this where I go and I run to see if I can get this person, because I figured she's going to think I'm distracted to where, she can go and make this rescue even if she's injured. So she gives up on this area. And I admittedly held onto that hatch a little too long, but, to my surprise, because she wasn't looking, I was able to hit her. There are some very proficient hatchet throwers, and I am not one of them. So when I hit somebody with a hatchet, that's like the ultimate, stretch. So now they're healing up. And I know what they're going to do. They're going to perform a rescue where the 2 of them get together and try to save the one on the hook. In fact, actually, the inference I had was that as they're running, they're going to try to go over to the hook. So I go back and I figured, okay, the other one's probably there now. Looking around, don't see anyone. But see, this goes back to what I was talking about when I said, like, face camping for me isn't really that much of a thing, because you had 2 of them there, right, who are free, and they just let her die. They let her sit on that hook. They didn't team up. They didn't work together. It's the same thing with the Meg, where you had the other Meg try to rescue her, and then by the time that Dwight got there, and yeah, history repeats itself, he gets her at the last second. I don't know why they do that, where they run into you. That's the main reason I like this match. I get some pretty decent hatchet shots. Again, even if I'm not that great of a player when it comes to being a killer. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, because the problem with this game and some of the sweat squads that are on here is that you never know how good you are. And all the killers do play differently, unlike the survivors who all have the same, play style. So I remember I did one of my streams recently where I was talking about I played as Pyramid Head for the first time, and I went up against this guy with a key, and he was looping me for 4 generators, and I just got so sick of it. And it was like, I'm not even a rank 1 or 10 or anything. I was sitting over here, getting these, you go from these teams where they get 3 people taken out with only 1 gen done, to some squad where the game's only been up for 2 minutes and you hear 3 generators pop. So I said this game, and like that, when I don't want to play as killer, it's because I remember bad experiences like that. Which again, it's like this game has a ranking system that's completely worthless. Like I could be a rank, which I'm not. I'm nowhere close to that. But if I played more and was a rank 1, I would get teams like this, just like I do as one of the lowest ranks. So I'm fine with letting her sit here and do that, you know, goofy thing with, you know, like I said, I just think that's such a goofy strategy. Just I'm gonna keep sliding back and forth on this, and it's not getting her anywhere because she can't move. And here she's about to make her fatal mistake. What did I tell you about those hatchets and pallets? They go together. I don't know why people do that. There's a lot of stuff with, like, specifically with Huntress that it's not advisable to bother with, like, vaulting a window, dropping a pallet. All these things keep you in the same spot. But I didn't have a problem playing with her when she was, you know, going on the pallet over and over, because no one else is doing anything. We got one guy dying on the floor, and, you know, now she's on the hook. And since she's you know, past stage 1, she can't get herself off of it. So the game's pretty much over now. You know, the only difficulty I had was looking for him. Yeah, a lot of survivors when they're on the ground do start to get bored. And they just roam around like slugs. That's why I get those perks to get myself up, because there are a lot of slugging games that happen nowadays. Like, it's the slugging and tunneling. The only time you'll see me slug and just have a person laying on the ground is if it's the end of the game and there's only 2 people, because the other person usually will sit and, like, wait for the pallet to show up. Or if I get one of them while they're trying to get somebody off the hook, excuse me. So, for example, in my Dead by Daylight mobile adventures, I believe this was 13, the last one with the Tombstone Michael, that player actually thought that he was going to, you know, mori these 3 people, and I would be the last one left on the ground. You know, because he thought he slugged me, and then he could go and get the last person, but then he didn't know that I had Soul Guard and whichever other perk that was, and was able to pick myself up and find the hatch. Haddonfield, 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 the worst map in the game for killers, as it's always stated. So, this is a very difficult map for killers because of all the pallets that are here, and let's just say, a lot of times when I play a certain way, it's because of either the map or the way the other people are playing. So, they're already doing a generator. And I ran that hatchet. I don't think I was aiming for that one. See, that's where I made my mistake. Where I told you I clicked the wrong button. Because that would have been a great spot to hit that person with the hatchet. And here he goes hiding behind this car. And this goes back to one of the problems I mentioned before when I was talking about the game, that if you spend just a little too long chasing one, and see, this is a fairly intelligent Dwight, because he knew that if I got close enough, but see right here, that was where I could have hit him, and I made my mistake. But if you spend too long chasing one of these survivors, like right there, you saw a generator pop. When you spend too long chasing one of them, it can have devastating results. Like if he went into the other side of that building and just kept jumping out that top window like one person did to me a while ago, a few months back or last year, I probably wouldn't have been able to catch him. So I decided to get rid of this pallet here because I'm anticipating I'm gonna have to get the other ones. I thought about slugging, and that's just because this map is not good for killers at all. But I decided, you know, I'm just going to put this guy on here. And I'm kind of worried because anytime I don't get at least one hook before they do the first gen, I'm inclined to camp, because having to 12 hook against, what is that, 3 generators, 4 generators. It sounds like a decent theory, like, oh yeah, we can just hook everyone 3 times fairly, but a lot of these survivors are in teams where not all members are created equal, so some members are extremely hard to get or borderline impossible, which is why, and see, this goes back to what I was talking about, the altruism of these players. Like, I hit him once, and if this, here's his mistake, he decides to try to go for a save while in, well, this would happen if even if he wasn't injured, but he tries to go for a save right in front of me, which is not advisable, because if you, there's a little, and you've seen it before if you watch any of the DBD mobile adventure videos, but there's like a little, I don't want to call it a loading screen, but there's a bar that has to fill up as you're getting someone off the hook. You can't just click a button and they're off the hook. And if that bar isn't finished and you get grabbed by the killer, you will end up being put in the dying state as he is now. So now I have no reason to leave this hook, because, I mean, what, I leave the hook to go find one of the only, what obviously is going to be the only person doing a generator now, and the other one comes and picks one up and gets the other one off the hook, and the whole thing starts. This is just too much of a tactical advantage for me, so I feel firmly intending to sit here. But you know what, this shows the insanity of these players, because this, you're gonna see it right here, this player allowed his teammate to die, and the other one, and you're gonna find out where he is now. So he's doing the generator. You just saw that little sound that went off. So think of how insane this is. You have one teammate who's on a hook, fading fast, another one who's lying on the ground, and you would rather, this is obviously going to require at least 2 people to rescue, and you're going to do a generator, which even if you finish it, you still have another 3 to do, and all it's going to actually do in the long run is just tip the killer off to where you are. That's why I said, some of these players, I don't understand. They're just, the lack of teamwork is a sad thing. I think this was a whole team of lights. That's actually a troll thing where they all like play as the same character to trick you. Although I should say they usually don't do it like this. They usually all wear the same outfit. Which is really annoying, because you'll hook one person like, hey, is that this person? Oh no, it's the other one. Yeah. So I take this one down, put it on the hook. This game's basically over. The only thing I'm worried about at this point is, because these survivors like to turn into slugs and roam around while they're on the ground. I'm worried that the hatch is going to spawn, and that survivor will be right where it is, which will mean that they can escape even though they didn't win and really did nothing whatsoever to even deserve getting the pity door. So I'm looking around trying to find where he is, and I'll get a few more points when I'm generated. You know, the reason I felt so proud of the last of DBD Mobile 13 was that with that tombstone match, I was trying to do generators. I had a strategy so he couldn't take me out. Like, I don't say I deserved the hatch, but at the very least, I was trying to forward my team, you know? So I closed the hatch. Thank God it spawned some. I actually did have one match on this stage, on this map, excuse me, where there was a person I downed, and the hatch spawned right next to him, and they like sat on top of it to watch, to like, so I could see them leave, because that's what they love doing. But yeah, these were pretty decent. I don't think I did as great as I could have. Because I go long periods where I don't play as killer, so I'm always fairly rusty. But you know, I'm for the amount of time I don't play as killer, and to have come back and gotten 2 straight matches where I killed everyone, I think I did all right.